There are two docs that compiled all the evidence of what Cine did. The first one has 111 pages.
It's 111 pages long! You're kidding me! You're kidding me!
I can see my house from here.
Sure.
Well, with that out of the way, there is some drama that I had a little bit of involvement in that I think we can talk about. I have very limited involvement, but I think it's worth going over. All right, so let me set this up for you. Smaggle, do you mind sending me that Just a Robot video? So essentially what happened was this person named Cine Bear, got exposed. You can see my video right there reacting to the document and her basically confession. So essentially her roommate had made this video talking about how she found out that Cine Bear was a groomer. And then Cine Bear made a video apologizing, saying that she was a groomer, right? And then she made a response video saying she's not actually a groomer. And she was like, it was like a apology confession under coercion. And essentially she was like, you know, I did have inappropriate conversations with minors. I did send a 14-year-old a bunch of weird and talk to them about my sexual stuff, but I'm not a groomer. That's essentially what they said. Now, the latest development in all of this is Just a Robot has posted Just a Robot's sort of a classic member of the crossed arms community, okay? This individual. He's made a bunch of videos. He has the crossed arms robot emoji little thing here.
Before my old channel got hacked, I made a video on Steven Universe. While I did enjoy the show, there were a few things that rubbed me the wrong way.
Now, he's a pretty interesting dude for a lot of reasons. Now, he actually made a video about me a while ago where he said that I'm like the greatest commentary YouTuber of all time. At the end of it, I believe.
Ratio is magnifico. And I also highly doubted I would have gotten a lot of backlash.
I want to see if I can actually find what he says specifically about me, because I know he's like a big fan of me. There was like one particular clip where he was like, Tom is like the greatest commentary YouTuber of all time. So true. I don't even know I don't know the timestamp in it. But I know he said that I was like the YouTube GOAT or something. He said you're like his favorite YouTuber. True, I am. I'm the GOAT. I met this guy in person temporarily at VidCon. When I was walking around on the convention floor, he walked up and was like, hi, I'm Just a Robot. And he took a picture with me, which is funny. But he's now made a video kind of defending Cine Bear, and I would like to watch that video. It's an hour and a half long, so it's long as the video has already been removed from his channel because of how much backlash he got. But I'm very kind of curious to watch this. From what I understand, it involves some old drama stuff for me as well regarding Pyrocynical. So I'm curious to watch this.
I was going to make a video talking about a recent document that was released about me, but the situation has gotten much more serious as I realize the damage that I've caused.
Another person in the ArtCC has been outed as a bad person. Gee, that's surprisingly new. In other news, there's gonna be a sunrise tomorrow morning.
Bro, I hate his delivery. I hate the way he talks, bro. I just don't like his voice. I don't know what I don't know if this is like autism or something that makes him speak like that, but man, I just don't like his voice. There's just something about it that I don't like.
That being said, this situation might not be as cut and dry as you once thought. Unlike everyone else who rushed out their video on Cine, I actually reached out to her, and she agreed to do an interview with me. Just like with the Pyrocynical drama, the Spoctor drama from 2016, and the Hopeless Peaches drama, there was something about the Cine Bear situation that didn't feel right. I'll give you two options. You can take the blue pill and just believe the mainstream opinion about Cine, or you can take the red pill, and
I think if you're going to make a video like this that like challenges the narrative on someone, this is just a little advice for people who want to do stuff like this. If you're going to make a video like this that kind of challenges the main narrative, sort of the like ego-driven, like self-aggrandizing stuff is really bad, you know, being like, I'm the only one who is the base guy and did the research. That kind of stuff, especially like front-loading the video with it, is generally a bad idea. It makes you just extremely unlikable, you know. I haven't seen this video yet. Maybe he'll be super based or something. Maybe there will be some kind of great take he has. But when you're front loading a video with like, I'm the based guy or whatever, people don't really like to hear that. If you're going to put it in there, you know, the ego driven stuff, put it at the way end. You know, you just come across like a cringe lord.
can show you just how deep this rabbit hole goes.
Down the rabbit hole.
Before I begin, I would like to make some disclaimers regarding this video. Number 1. One of the subjects involved in this video goes by a different name than they used to, due to identifying under a different name and gender. If you know the user by the name of Birdie within the animation meme community from years ago, a drama I actually made reference to in my last video, which I to this day do not know.
One of the takes actually from this that I got shit for a little bit on Twitter was I was like reacting to this stuff, and somebody was like, I'm Arrow Ace, I'm asexual. And I was like, that's not real. Maybe that was a little bit loaded for me to say, but, you know, I'm sure there are people who are genuinely asexual, but I don't know. I guess when I hear that shit, I just always think like terminally online, Twitter, non-binary individual, you know? It's just like, I feel like a lot of the people who identify as asexual are probably not asexual, but, you know, that was one take I had. Maybe a little bit too extreme in my opinion, but yeah.
Know anything about, then you should know they now go by he, it pronouns, and they have changed their name to Jack. This is the Art CC. Half the people in it are trans.
You got that right, buddy. You got that right. Very true.
When talking about their drama, I will refer to it as Birdie, but for the rest of the video, I will call him Jack as that is what he prefers to be called. Second, please give what you can to help save my friend's family restaurant. A link to the GoFundMe will be down below. I know it doesn't seem like the time for it, but I promised my friend I would shout it out in every single video until we raise the money for it. And number 3, some of the stuff you may hear me talk about in this video will be a bit troubling to some, but I am going to keep my wording simple and brief, and show evidence that will be highly censored. Now you might have heard of the Birdie drama, back when they were bashed by the Art CC for seemingly no reason. After all of that drama, they became best friends with Cine Barrow 3, who I will just be referring to as Cine for the duration of this video. They moved in together around 10 months ago, but unfortunately their friendship didn't last. Last time I heard about two Art CC people moving in together, it was Kai and Omnia, and yeah, we all know how that turned.
What was the situation there? I think that, yeah, Omnia claimed she got beat by Kai, I believe. That was what happened. I think I remember that happening years ago. This is, for some reason, this little community of people, I'm not trying to victim blame here, but this little community of people is, like, extremely dysfunctional. What is Art CC? It's the art commentary community. It's, like, the leftovers of like, Creepshow art and people like that. Like, people in that genre, like, basically, instead of having, if you guys have seen my Creepshow art video on the main channel, it's one of the most viewed videos I've done, is that kind of genre of people. It's like, it's essentially commentary videos, but a lot of it, instead of being, like the visuals, instead of it being like gameplay footage or like someone's face, the visuals are like speed paints in the background. There's been a lot of drama, you know, from Hopeless Peaches, and Prison Mate Luke was involved in all that, even though he wasn't really an art commentary channel. He kind of talked about that stuff. It's like there's a whole lore from this area of the internet, basically. There seems to be a lot of dysfunction going on with a lot of them.
Turned out, Art CC people just don't move in with one another. It never turns out great. As for how I first learned about Cine Barrow 3, I first discovered Cine through her video on Spockter.
Her content's crazy, by the way. Like, if you want to, like, understand, like, the sort of Aspergit community we're delving into here, it's like this kind of shit, okay? Tell him! I got ops! Still get him a block! I'll get sturdy on your block! White boy, I got ops! It's this kind of thing. It's this, like, genre. This is, like, what blew them up. 22 million views, yeah. How to get that many views? I mean, like, Tumblr children, I assume. I don't exactly know. But this is, like, the kind of genre of stuff we're delving into here. So there's, like, there's a level of, like, what the fuck's going on, you know, in the first place.
Other than that, I just saw her video on Lio and Peaches, along with the first few minutes of her video on Deadwing Dork. Ironically, Cine brought up that she was moving in with Jack at the very end of her Spockter video.
I'm moving out soon. My original plan was to move out in January, but things have changed. I'm going cross-country to pick up my friend, so that we can roommate together. They've been an online friend for a long time, and they've been dealing with a really unsafe living situation for a while now, so I want to go get him. My family has been really adamant about me not doing this, though. They already hated the idea of me moving out so soon, but they hate my roommate even more.
When I heard...
Man, I will say, You know, it depends on the family you come from, but generally if your mom and dad are responsible people, normal people, and they're telling you not to move in with someone, whether it's a girlfriend or a friend or a roommate or something, like whatever it is, like generally you should just listen to them, man. Your mom and dad are usually going to be right. There's so many instances in my life where I really wish I just listened to my fucking mom and dad because their advice was so sage. And if I had just shut the fuck up and consider the fact that they're probably right, my life would have been so much better personally. Like, I never doubt my parents anymore, okay? You got to get past the, like, edgy teenager phase of, like, my parents just don't know. Like, take their advice wisely, okay? Mom and dad are usually right. Would you rather be drugged by Dahmer or Diddy? Probably Diddy, because I would really enjoy my time with them.
For this, I thought nothing of it.
I understand they're worried for my safety, but the way they've gone
Wholly complying with authority? Authority is often right. Why do you think your parents have that authority in the first place? They literally raised you. They literally raised you from nothing. Like, your mom squeezed you out of her pussy. Your mom squeezed you out after carrying your dumb ass for 9 months, okay? If she managed to raise you well, you should probably listen to her advice.
about being worried has been really stressful. I need to go on this road trip, I need to help my friend, and I need to make my own decisions. I need to get out of this house.
Remember all of this stuff about Cine's parents not being okay with her moving in with Jack, because it will become important later. As they were living with one another, someone made a document accusing Cine of doing very bad things with minors. Jack called Cine out for this, it made a video, the video absolutely blew up, and tons of people also made videos on Cine. I, along with many other people, wouldn't have learned about this situation for a lot longer if Jack didn't make its video. There are 2 docs that compiled all the evidence.
Why does it keep saying it? Do they go by it? Are they an it? If Jack didn't make its video. It moment? You look cute and breedable? Thanks, buddy.
Evidence of what Cine did. The first one has 111 pages.
It's 111 pages long! You're kidding me! You're kidding me!
I can see my house from here.
Sure, it's long, but it's mostly just screenshots. The most severe allegation in this document was
I read through it and it was just like some of the cringiest like roleplay gooner shit I've ever read in my life. It was like, nuzzles you, ooh woo, check out my cool character. And I was like, bruh, stop. No.
That Cine was grooming a 14-year-old by sending them inappropriate pictures. Unfortunately, the doc is so long that most people didn't look at it in its entirety, and if they did, they didn't look at it very carefully. Now, some of you may be asking, how old was Cine when this all happened? Was she 16 when she was talking to the 14-year-old? Or 17? Nope, she was 20, about to turn 21. Like her birthday was right around the corner. The 14-year-old also made their own doc, and it's, oh god, 188 pages long.
188 pages? No.
But it's almost
That's what I'm saying. I mean, these people got to make their documents shorter, you know, like just compile it into like a nice video people can watch or something. Learn Adobe Premiere, you know, for my own sanity. If you want people to cover this stuff publicly, please make that shit concise, like 30-page cap. We could have like a 30-page cap. Any more than that is like nobody's fucking reading that. I'm the only one that's going to read it because I have autism. But just don't make it that long, okay? You're going to save yourself from being misrepresented by commentary channels.
almost entirely just made up of screenshots, so it's not as long as it may seem at first. Now, some of you might say that these screenshots are out of context, or maybe the messages are fake. After all, Discord is one of the easiest websites to use to fake messages. I mean, it's happened to me before, so it might have happened to Cine. But the thing is, those allegations aren't just allegations anymore because Cine admitted to it.
I've been an irresponsible content creator, and I've been acting inappropriately towards my fans. This alone is enough for me to realize I need to make sweeping changes to how I conduct myself and how I interact with my fans. But the most serious thing I've done is I've groomed a minor.
This is the thing for me when I saw this. I was like, well, they confessed straight up. Like, they said they did it, you know? Like, what, like, kind of an open and shut situation, you know? What else am I supposed to say about that? Like, you can just see her confession sort of and be like, oh, what the fuck? And I was so surprised by that because you rarely get someone who's, like, admitting to it. It's such a rare thing. Is this him? It's not him pissing. It's just water being poured in a toilet. Robot piss. This is NVIDIA AI powered pissing. So based.
I became friends with a 14-year-old after I made a mental note to myself to not become friends with minors again, and I overshared with them. I shared graphic, explicit materials with them when I shouldn't have. I groomed this child, and I knew what I was doing was wrong, and I betrayed everyone who looked up to me. I betrayed my friends. I've done the worst possible thing I could have done, and I'm suffering for my choices.
Like, this is just not a thing you generally see. Like, it's so rare to hear someone just say, I fucked up, I did it, I knew what I was doing was wrong, and I continue doing it anyway, you know? Jar's not beating the Flickr Gooner allegation is true. From my perspective, it's like, there's just no benefit. Like, if you're someone like this, there's no benefit to fucking, like, even have a Discord server where you're sharing, like, in it. Like, why would you do that? You know? Like, just have, like, a no rule or something. If it's a public Discord, why even do that, you know? Everyone in this drama could benefit from having their internet disconnected for a few weeks. Yeah. I mean, it seems like much like Asmongold, there might be some terminally online stuff going on here, bro. Is there going to be a restock of any of the Stop Gooning merch? I'd probably do unrepeatable things for it. Probably not. You get it while it's there, or you don't get it. That's it, buddy.
On the one hand, I am happy she admitted to it so fast, but on the other hand, she groomed a minor! I could go over the proof in the doc, but the drama seems like it's already over. Proof of what she did came out, her roommate talked about it, making the situation blow up, and she admitted to it. It's like that one clip from Rick and Morty.
And now,
Bruh. It's like that one clip from Rick and Morty. It's like that one clip from Rick and Morty. Why is it blown out like this? Is this still like a void copyright? Why does it look like that?
another quick mystery. I just want to know who could have done something like this. It's a travesty.
I did. See this knife and all the blood on it? Here's my fingerprints.
Guilty. I sentenced you to life in prison.
Everybody, including Cine, seems to be in agreement that she's
You know, just that one classic Rick and Morty clip everyone remembers. Nobody even talks about Rick and Morty now. I feel like everyone hates it. The first few seasons weren't even that bad.
the groomer, but I think a lot of you want me to be as transparent as possible and go over the two really big dogs.
This is peak
I've seen a
autism.
lot of false information get spread around about this situation, and I want you all to understand exactly what's going on. Because let's be honest here, most people aren't going to go through two massive dogs. The only one defending Cine at all is Kumo. And let's be honest here, he's a guy who everybody hates, so if anything, he probably made the situation even worse for her. The guy is an absolute contrarian, and many people consider him to be a troll. Clearly, he's just doing this to stir up drama. But as I was working on my Cine video, I kept on going back and changing a lot of things about it. And once I finished my video on Cine and looked at all the evidence I had lined up, it just didn't feel like a good video to me. I got that same feeling I had during the Pyro drama, the Hopeless Peaches drama, and the Spoctor drama. For those of you who do not know what the Spoctor drama is, basically back in 2018, he was accused of inappropriately messaging minors as young as 13 years old. But he got out of them because he did those actions when he was 16 to 17. Cine was 20, about to turn 21, so there's no way she's innocent, right? Well, I told myself the same thing, but then I noticed she took down her apology video, and I decided to reach out to her because I just felt so uneasy. And after I interviewed her, which I will play at the end of this video, I realized that Cine and all of you were lied to. I've gone against the mainstream art commentary community opinion lots of times. I did it in the Peaches drama, the Antunes drama, and the Toby drama.
Once again, this kind of thing, this kind of conversation where it's like, oh, I'm the base guy. It's like, people don't want to hear that. Just say what you have to say. You know, this video is already loaded with like 8 minutes of fluff so far. We haven't even gotten to the specifics of the drama for the most part, you know? By the way, Tom, it came out later. He was lusting for Cindy Bear in the DMs. I sent you the Ched debate. Jesus. Well, maybe I'll check that out later. He was lusting for her? Why? What about her? Why is he lusting? Why the fuck is he lusting over Cindy Bear? Bro, look, I understand sticking your dick in crazy, but this seems a little bit far.
Granted, the last one didn't go so well for me, but the other two went pretty well. I know 100% that I'm going to get a lot of backlash for making this video, but someone with a sizable audience needs to say something. The first big red flag to me was how quickly Cine admitted to grooming. When it comes to groomers, they never do that. Cosmodor didn't do that, EDP didn't do that. In fact, there's not one single groomer that I can think of that has ever done that. The only person that I can think of who admitted to being a groomer before Cine was Spoctor, but he was innocent. If you've seen my Vincent Skullman video on my
Well, I mean, when it comes to EDP and people like that, right? Like, there can be a delineation between what Cindy Bear did and what EDP did. Like, EDP specifically messaged a child and was, like, talking about him, right? Like, that's what EDP did. you know, well, what he thought was a child. With Cine Bear, it was more of like a Chris Tyson thing where like there wasn't one specific minor they were targeting to like have sex with them. It was more of like a series of inappropriate interactions with minors, and they knew that they were minors, and they continued engaging in that for a long time despite it, you know, like, and the age gap is just so egregious. It's not like some kind of borderline thing. You know, it's like, what the fuck? Like, if you look at the Chris Tyson stuff, Chris Tyson didn't specifically try to meet up with one kid for the purpose of sex, but Chris Tyson did send kids like really weird, sent them links to Shad Base, obviously had the whole lolicon thing going on. And so it's like, you know, there can be like a difference here, a delineation, I think, that can be an important distinction, but it's still a wrong thing to do, right? So from the perspective of like defending someone like this, it's like, if you want to quibble and quabble over the term, like, okay, you know, whatever. But at the same time, you know, it's like that one clip of the comedian being like, you know, if you talk to people who like talk about this kind of stuff, it's like they'll be like, there's an ephebophile, or there's a hebophile, or there's a difference. And it's like, why do we not really talk about that difference? Well, because if you defend that stuff, you kind of sound like a right. And so it's just not like it's like, why get caught up in that kind of thing? Why stick your neck out for this kind of person, you know?
My old channel, then you know that I've proven that ArtCC people are cartoonishly spineless. Just a little social pressure will make them admit to things that they haven't done. In court, people are allowed to rescind their guilty plea, and that is put into law because humans are, well, human. They can be pressured into saying that they're guilty even when they aren't. Tons of people have admitted to practicing witchcraft because they were pressured into it. Okay, Jaw, that may be true, but did you actually watch Jack's video? Yes, and it barely had any evidence
What do you have to say about the gooning allegations? I did it and I don't regret it.
at all. It is mostly just Jack talking, and that's pretty much it.
Sock has expressed discomfort with Cine.
Bro, I remember this video was so crazy because the way it opens is like, I'm in the next room to them. I'm trying to be quiet so I can expose them. I was like, you're recording an exposed video on your roommate while you're in the same one-bedroom apartment as them? That was nuts to me.
Multiple times, and Cine hasn't made an effort to change anything. She made graphic comics including Sock's characters and sent them to people she barely knew, who then leaked them because she didn't fucking know them. Sock expressed discomfort again, and Cine doubled down and told Sock off because she can cope however she wants, I guess. I haven't looked.
Can't she just go outside and record the mic from her phone? Well, these people don't go outside. You have to remember that. This is not a going outside type of person. Whoever edited this is a criminal. Well, just a robot edited it.
Looked at the screenshots. I've only heard like testimony of this, but it's
Person.
disturbing.
I haven't looked at the screenshots. I've only heard like testimony of this, but...
She has an obsession with Boy to this very day. Before I found out about all...
The thing is, I mean, it is like, you know, from this person's perspective, I don't want to defend them endlessly. Like, making an allegation with no direct proof is not a good thing to do. But the thing that happened is, like, the screenshots were leaked. We saw all of them. They were pretty foul, and Cine Bear ultimately admitted to it. You know, like, you can quibble over, like, well, I'm not technically, you know, this kind of thing. I'm actually this other thing. And it's like, okay, but you still did have inappropriate interactions with minors, and you shouldn't be doing that, you know? Like, I don't think going out on a limb to defend this kind of behavior is a good look, so to speak. Goonlord Turkish Tomathaniel III, Baron of Slop, consort to Her Holiness, Queen Chris Tyson, heir to the throne. True. Chris is my queen, dude. I love Chris.
all this. Cine actually DM'd me last night and said, oh, Boy's yelling at me, because I think she has, like, an imaginary version of him. I don't know. And I was like, why?
A lot of people keep saying, isn't Just a Robot your boy? I don't know Just a Robot. I've talked to him once. I believe I've had one conversation with him ever. And it was like him walking up to me at VidCon and being like, can I get a picture with you? And me being like, yeah, sure. A lot of people keep saying I'm his boy. Has he said that I'm his friend or something?
Why is he yelling at you? And she's like, I don't feel comfortable saying. And then I found out from someone else what she did. And she just wasn't gonna tell me.
Some of you may bring up that Jack and Cine were best friends, and it would be in denial about what their friend did. The thing is, though, Jack is very, very autistic. Like, I can't be the only one who thinks it's weird that Cine allegedly groomed a 14-year-old, and Jack somehow makes it about itself and gets $10,000 in
They got 10 grand in donations for what? Why? Why do they need 10 grand? Just get a job. Wait, what? Why though? Why did they ask for 10 grand? Why did it ask for 10 grand? Like, my roommate, animation meme creator and commentary creator with 500K plus subscribers, is grooming a 14-year-old for 6 months behind my back. She's been taking advantage of me, her friends, and her fans. I'm not safe here anymore. You're not safe? Aren't you an adult? Just leave. Just move out. She should have been piss maxing. True. True.
Donations. Like, what? How does that work? If that's the rule from here on out, Professor Dreadlock has been messaging minors inappropriately. Now give me $10,000, please. Even if you're moving out, you don't need $10,000 unless you live in California.
Didn't you and Jar go through Vietnam together? Dude, during Vietnam, let it be known that I pushed Jar right into the Agent Orange, okay? We were stuck on a hill. We were fighting, okay? We were in a foxhole, and accidentally, you know, our team, our comms team, made a very bad mistake. They accidentally called in Agent Orange on our coordinates, and I pushed him directly into the Agent Orange and watched his skin disintegrate, which is why he uses this robot profile picture now, okay? That's why he does this. How do I stop scaring the hoes? I'm a woman with a septum piercing and black hair. Why are you asking me how to stop scaring the hoes? My entire Riz is scaring hoes, so I don't know how you're supposed to stop scaring them. I think you should scare them more. You should make them fear for their life when you're around them.
California or New York or something. In fact, if you live in one of those two states, $10,000 will only cover your rent for a week. But why couldn't Jack just ask for, I don't know, $2,000 or $3,000 and then get a job? Well, that's because it doesn't work. Yep.
They needed to buy Funko Pops, bro. They needed some Funko Pops. On God, all right? Listen, Cine Bear did something bad, and they needed to fund their U2s collection. They needed to collect all the remaining 2 Mad U2s on eBay.
Yep, Cine was paying the overwhelming majority of the rent. Jack needed Cine, but Cine did not need Jack. Cine is working a real job, she's making money, and she's paying rent. Jack, for the longest time, was on Social Security until he moved. So let me get this straight, we're paying taxes to it, and now we're giving $10,000 to it. It almost seems like Jack had everything to gain.
Saying it is so funny. That was a W from this video. We're paying taxes to it.
By throwing its friend under the bus. But Jar, the document had all the proof. I mean, look how many pages it had. All that evidence must prove that Cine's a groomer, right? Well, actually, no. There's not one shred of evidence that Cine groomed anyone. Just testimony, one of which came from herself, ironically.
I mean, that's not really the case, though. We have a lot of foul DMs, right? And, like, they also said they knew the person's age and admitted to it, so I don't really know. Like she said I did it, and then we saw the DMs where she knew their age and did it, like sent them weird anyway, so.
Now I want to make this 100% crystal clear. Cine did 100% speak inappropriately around minors. But know who else did that? Pyro.
Recently, to those who are unaware, I've been accused of grooming a 15-year-old boy when I was 19. That I'm some kind of predator and was aware of his age all along. This is categorically untrue and a complete lie. But a few days ago, a poorly written Google Doc has surfaced claiming that...
Written by me.
I have lied in my response, and I'm 100% guilty. I just want to be clear, I have never lied at any point. This document is disingenuous, manipulative, and it fails to include so much of my original statement. This document makes, like, insane assumptions based on limited and broken evidence. It's not hard to dismantle it. It's just annoying that I have to be the one to do it. These conversations never led to any nudes being exchanged. It was just purely fantasy garbage, something which Ivory himself confirms.
Did he ever ask you for...
So I think this is actually kind of a good opportunity for me to talk about this, because I feel like I have made statements about it a little bit on stream, and I think people have kind of seen my opinion change over time a little bit on this. But I think, like, in this more digestible format, it'd probably be good to talk about this. I've talked with a few people recently about this and how I feel like maybe I should make some kind of, like, public, I don't know, statement about what happened with the pyro thing. Essentially, I fucked up that entire situation, and I don't want to, like, defend myself there. You know, I did fuck it up, undoubtedly. You know, there's no real great excuse I can give. I will say, I think a lot of people, you know, when they saw that drama, they speculated and kind of claimed my intentions were to, like, destroy his career, and that I, like, hated Pyrocynical, and I, like, lied about all of it. Essentially, what I saw was this person, Ivory, who had, you know, been engaged with by Pyrocynical in these really degenerate DMs. Then I saw Pyrocynical's defense on Reddit, and I didn't think it was very good. And I was like, this is, you know, this is gross. This is disgusting. This is irresponsible. And I think one of the really bad statements I made in that document was like, you know, is he a groomer? I don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. And I think that was a very dangerous thing for me to do. Because ultimately, I think a big sticking point behind this situation was there was this claim I made, essentially, that he had to have known Ivory's age when he was 15 years old, right? Last month he was defending it. I didn't defend it. I think that Pyrocynical should be criticized. I think he deserves to be criticized, but I still fucked it up. You know, he's not a groomer. And I would say low key sort of implied that, I would say. And I see why people took it that way. You know, ultimately a lot of my document hinged on this idea that Pyrocynical definitely knew Ivory's age when they were 15 years old. And I didn't prove that, you know, which is why his response was able to mog me. He was able to destroy me. And like, ultimately I fucked up, you know, I can't deny it. And I talked to Nick about this, but I was considering like making some kind of, I don't know, just like statement, just talking about how I fucked that up. Cause I feel, you know, it took me a while to basically, it took like years of me like reflecting on it to like come away with my perspective that, you know, is he weird? Yes. Is he degenerate? Yes. But ultimately, I don't think he's a groomer, you know, in that sense of the word. So I feel like I fucked it up, you know. So yeah, that's like, you know, my thoughts on that.
For nudes. No.
Several of our conversations were leaked online by Ivory. Here's one of the more damning ones.
Apology vid when. I don't know. The thing is, like, I feel like a lot of the apology vids, like, in general, that just come across as very, very performative. So I don't know if that's the kind of thing I would do. You know, I think they come across as very cringe. But, you know, I think I did fuck up that situation. And I think, like, you know, there's a lot of valid criticism of me. Like, ultimately, like, the reason that I, quote unquote, lost that situation is not because, like, you know, I was secretly right or something the whole time and I knew all of it, you know. And, like, you know, I got destroyed unjustly. You know, I don't think that's true. Like, I deserved the backlash that I got for that situation, you know?
Love for my Sona to be licking at his fat, sweaty while rubbing his belly from behind, and then just having him gas all over my Sona's face. That'd
Bro, I forgot how crazy these DMs were.
be so nice. Or if mine was just underneath him, getting railed underneath his huge belly, and your Sona could be gassing non-stop as he f***s mine like, huh? Well, to be honest, I'd pick you up, hug you while...
Bro, some of these DMs, I still can't get over it, bro.
To be honest, I'd pick you up, hug you while rubbing you against my huge, sweaty moobs, then kiss your cheeks, telling you how much I loved you, and then kiss you on the lips and let out a hard, long belch into your mouth. Come on.
I mean, yeah, we shared some fat furry art, we had some weird fantasy roleplay, but there was no sexual interest. There were no nudes exchanged, his name, his appearance, it wasn't important to me. He never once disclosed the fact that he was 15 at the time these exchanges commenced. He didn't include his age in his bio until he was 16, but I was not on Twitter between the 28th of December 2016 until the 29th of June 2017, as I was suspended. It would have been a hell of a lot less likely for me to see all but one of these tweets that's been used as evidence in this Google Doc. My Reddit post clearly shows that
Yeah, the Google Doc was bad, you know. I read over it again recently, and it was bad. There was like spelling mistakes. It was poorly structured. The conclusions I drew just weren't supported in evidence. Like, it was a bad Google Doc, I think, you know. I don't think you can deny that.
was suspended from Twitter at the time that they were made. And that, of course, leaves the very last one. But, like, what are the chances of you catching one specific tweet when you follow hundreds of people? I brought this up in my Reddit post as well, but it's been deliberately left out as some, like, shit attempt at manipulation.
Wait a second there, Jaw. The Cine situation and the Pyro situation are completely different. I mean, after all, Pyro didn't know Ivory's age. I think you need to see the next clip after this one.
When Ivory linked me his Twitter profile, the age in bio says 16. This is something I acknowledged in my Reddit post.
Tom fumbled the case. Yeah, I totally did. I totally did fumble it. Yeah, there's no doubt. Tom sweeping for Pyro. Why do people always say this shit, man? The idea that I would, like, sweep for someone, I think is so... Like, people don't even really talk about this anymore. There's no real benefit to me even talking about, like, how I fucked up in that situation. Like, there's no like W that I would get, honestly, for, like, talking about how I fucked it up, you know. I had to reflect on it and realize that I did fuck it up, you know. I did. There were conclusions that I drew that just weren't supported in evidence, you know?
But to be fair, I probably didn't elaborate enough on it. In retrospect, I never should have continued the furry stuff with him once I learnt of his age, even though at the time I didn't see it as a problem. If it helps for context, because we're being so open here, I'm straight, IRL, like I have no interest in guys.
I'll say this part, I don't really believe that.
This is just purely like a weird fantasy, and it does not carry over into the real world whatsoever. Of someone who drew like fan art of my Fox character back in 2016. I then apparently replied to them like jokingly saying not thick enough, and then asking for their age, and they said 15. So when people saw this, they instantly drew parallels to the grooming allegation. I asked them for a thick version, and they drew this, which isn't even really that different from previous things they drew before even getting into contact with me. I didn't commission it. What was drawn wasn't pornographic. They'd drawn very similar stuff before, and there was no roleplay here. It was nothing.
And last I checked, we pretty much all forgave him. Cine is a coomer, a gooner, but not a groomer. Grooming requires intent and a desire to get with someone. Cine did neither. If you want to get with a 14-year-old, you have to be a pedo. Now Cine makes a lot of coomer art, so there must be evidence of her drawing Shota, Lolly, or Cub, right? I mean, the signs were there in public for years. Just take a look at her channel. There are tons of videos where she would make suggestive animations of a minor character from My Little Pony. By that I mean Scootaloo isn't a minor character from My Little Pony, but that she's a minor character. She's underage. That's the point I'm trying to make. Oh.
The thing is here, right? Like, I think the big difference people are going to have is like, I mean, Pyrocynical had that, you know, kind of, you know, nail to hammer down defense of like, I mean, first of all, I think he was 19 and Ivory was 16 when he was aware of their age. So that is less of an extreme gap, I guess, than was going on with Cinebear. And on top of that, you know, when it comes to Cinebear, like Cinebear knew the person's age all along, was completely aware of it, and despite that continued it. And it wasn't just like sending them weird art. It was also like talking about like, I'm so horny right now. I'm on my, you know, horny arc or whatever. Like, I think defending Cinebear once again, like if you want to say it's not grooming in the sense of like some kind of that's attracted to kids, like it's doing that, like I think you could make that argument, you know, but you know, like is it really worth getting into the weeds here and like delineating like this versus that and that? Like is that really worth it? I don't think it is. Like what she did is still really, really, really wrong, and there's not a lot of defense she's going to be able to have for it, you know, especially when she's criticized other people for similar stuff in the past.
Okay, this is cut and dry. She's guilty. But the fact of the matter is, she made those animations when she was a minor herself. A lot of these inappropriate animations of Scootaloo are over 7 years.
What a terrible animation, by the way. What the fuck? How did this blow up on YouTube, bro? How did that blow up on YouTube at all?
Years old. Cine just turned 21, so back then she would have been 14. Maybe this is just me, but I don't believe 14-year-olds who drew inappropriate pictures of characters around their...
Well, yeah, but if you're sending that to a 14-year-old, like as an adult, like it's still like not good, right? Like that's still not a good thing, you know? It is like super irresponsible. Super irresponsible.
Age should be canceled years later when they are an adult. If that's the case, a lot of you minors watching this video better go scrub your deviant arts.
Scrub till the water's brown.
The problem with this is that this is not the art CC, it's the animation meme community. Stuff like this is absolutely normalized in this community. If you're gonna cancel Cine for this, then you better cancel everybody else in the animation meme community. There are plenty of animations that say 13 plus or 16 plus or...
I mean, yeah, but I mean, there probably should be a standard anyway that like people that age probably shouldn't be posting like weird sexual animations online. You know, that's not something that should be encouraged. Like this is just weird like gooner shit. Like, well, it's a problem in the whole community. And then it's like, well, fuck the whole community then, I guess, you know? It's just weird as fuck.
Or whatever, and the characters in them are very scantily dressed and do inappropriate things. You can have a problem with this. Hell, you can demand that these videos are age restricted, but you can't just cancel Cine for...
Who taught them that shit at such young ages? I mean, it's like addiction, Tumblr, DeviantArt, just like being in these weird online communities, and then you start drawing like who knows what, you know? It's that kind of thing.
This and give everybody else a free pass. Plus, a lot of this stuff is no more inappropriate than things I've seen in animes like Fairy Tail and Naruto. Never forget what you were like when you were a kid. You enjoyed Misty when she was in her bikini. You enjoyed...
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Naruto when he did his sexy jutsu. And you...
No, I actually wasn't watching that because I don't watch anime.
Enjoyed when Fairy Tail just did a whole bunch of stuff. So just so we're clear here, back when Cine was 13, 14...
Bro is projecting his gooner fantasies.
And 15, she made animations like this, and just about no one had a problem with a minor making animations like this on the internet. Hell, judging by the view counts.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like things have changed a lot. You know, people have different standards now. Like, you know, now there's a conversation around like how probably minors shouldn't be doing that. And if you're adult and you're engaging with a minor where you're sending them weird, you know their age, you're completely aware of it, like that's gonna, you know, give you a very, very hard time, you know, and you should get a hard time for that because that's fucking weird. You know, like with Chris, it's like Chris knew everyone's age in that server, and despite that was sending a lot of weird around. And it's like, well, you know, the minor sent the weird too, and it's like, yeah, but you know, as an adult, it's your responsibility to disengage whatever the fuck's going on there, you know.
These videos got, I would go as far as to say that people encouraged her to keep doing stuff like this. So if she grew up with people constantly encouraging her to make animations like the one she's made, then it stands to reason that she would do the same when she grew up. But Jaw, that's not the only allegation in the doc, there's plenty of other stuff as well. I hear what you're saying, so let's look at that doc even more. Now granted, the old stuff she did wasn't that bad. Sure, making a 17-year-old uncomfortable when you're 19 isn't.
I mean, 19 and 17, I feel like is not the problem that I had, you know. I mean, like I saw initially that was like the criticism was like, oh, they had weird interactions with a 17-year-old when they were 19. And I was just like, well, that's like a normal like relationship age gap. I don't have a problem with that, you know. The bigger problem is like when they're 21 and they're interacting with like a 14-year-old in these weird ways, sending them weird. It's like that's obviously over the line, you know. Like there is a delineation here. Like if you're a 19-year-old, you talk to a 17-year-old, are you a groomer? Are you doing anything wrong? No. But if you're 21 and you're talking to a 14-year-old, I mean, like, what the fuck is that, you know? That's obviously very different.
Good, but it's not pedo stuff in my book. I'm one of those people who defended Call Me Carson, so I can't say she should be kicked off the internet for doing the same. If you would like to know the story between her and the 17-year-old minor, well, basically she sent a bunch of inappropriate messages to the minor. She sent a non-con comic to the minor who was 2 years younger than her. The comic included an F&F character by the name of Boy, who was graping Nightmare Sand supposedly for the punishment of molesting children. Lovely. Oh, and by the way, to make everything worse, the OC by the name of Boy was created by a minor.
Ooh, that's bad.
The minor called out Cine for this, and she apologized and made a promise that she would never ever do something like this again.
That's good.
No, none of this stuff is wholesome Christian family fun, but it's not that bad. Tons of—
It's a straw man argument. Anyway, nobody's talking about the 17-year-old. I mean, like, the thing is, like, that is a thing that some people did talk about, like, terminally online, like, children. Like, they did talk about that, but, like, there is a greater point here, you know? Like, that's not the reason why I think most people were giving Cine Bear shit. It wasn't over that. Because that, obviously, if you're, like, a functioning person, you know, you're going to be like, that's whatever, you know? But it wasn't the 17-year-old that was the problem. It was the 14-year-old and all the weird they were sending in a server of minors, right? Like, that is the problem, in my perspective, the real problem. And they knew all of their ages and continued it, like, over and over again. And they said when it was happening, they knew it was wrong, and they kept doing it.
People have drawn inappropriate pictures of minors' OCs. It's bad, but it's less bad when Cine did it because she was only 2 years older than the minor. If people don't want you to put their OCs in not safe for work situations, you should respect their wishes. But if you draw your OC as a hot anime girl or a big buff man, you should expect people to draw them in not safe for work situations. Personally, guys, just draw not safe for work of me. Plus, there was a video—
Just don't draw it at all, maybe. Just don't draw that at all. What about that? What about stop gooning, motherfucker, huh? How about that?
Video made defending Cine from these allegations. It got hundreds of thousands of views, and it was received extremely well. Sorry, but you can't just agree with a video that's debunking allegations, then change—
Yeah, but there's a greater picture here, right? Like, we didn't know about everything. That video was not going over the recent, you know, strange interactions with her and minors in the DMs.
Your mind on it because new allegations came out. This is bad, but it's a 2-year age gap. And most people only gave her a slap on the wrist for this because of Romeo and Juliet laws.
Protected by the Romeo and Juliet laws.
But then it happened again.
We dated for a little while. I was a sophomore and he was a senior. It's fine.
No, it's not fine. We've got a pre-existing juvenile foundational relationship.
What is this random clip? What is this random clip? Why is this in here?
Statute 2705-3. What?
Granted, a lot of people don't agree with Romeo and Juliet laws, especially when it involves a 17-year-old and a 19-year-old. After all, a 19-year-old can vote, get drafted, and do a bunch of other stuff, but a 17-year-old is still in high school. What Cine did was bad, but it's not pedophilic, and she did receive
Yeah, but the 19 and 17 thing, I feel like is totally sidestepping the greater problem here. Like, you're not really acknowledging the greater issue in all of this drama in the first 20 minutes. Like this whole first 20 minutes is like, it's really just grasping at straws to defend this person.
Backlash for it. Personally, the biggest problem I have is that she said she would never ever do this again, and she did. However, people are also more forgiving about this stuff when it's over the internet. Me hitting on a 17-year-old in real life is different than me hitting on a 17-year-old over the internet. After
Okay. What? Why even make this argument? What? How old is just a robot? Man, this ancient animated YouTube avatar thing is so cringe. Also, God helps those who help themselves. Stop being poor. True!
After all, I can see the 17-year-old in real life, but on the internet, I can't see what they look like. On the internet, I hear someone talking to me. In real
Why are you even saying this? Yeah, but if you know their age, like, just don't. What the fuck is this argument?
life, I see a
19 to 17-year-old is not the problem. Why are you going so in-depth on this?
minor in front of me. Granted, I'm a lot older than Cine. If I'm talking to a 17-year-old, yeah, I'm gonna get a lot more crap for it. The example I'm giving only works if I'm 19 or 20. But the thing is, as far as I'm aware, Cine wasn't hitting on this 17-year-old. She was just cooming with them.
She was just cooming with them. Once again, like, this argument, like, okay, I don't have a problem with 19 to 17, but, like, she was just cooming with them. Like, imagine making this argument about any other age gap, right? Like, 14 and 20. Like, they weren't hitting on, they were just cooming with them. And it's like, okay, but they knew their age and they kept going. Like, what the fuck, you know? They were just cooming with them. That's basically sexting, right? They were just cooming with them. Guys, when I talked to that 12-year-old, okay, I was just cooming with them. I was just cooming. You have to understand. I wasn't flirting. I was just cooming. And it's like, well, isn't that more extreme than flirting, motherfucker?
She would also post Gore and say inappropriate things where minors as young as 14 were present. Sure, this isn't good, but it's nothing that would get you that much backlash. Personally
Is this guy going to defend Chris Tyson next? What the fuck is this argument?
speaking, I went on Live Leak a lot as a kid, and I saw some very gory stuff. Also, in the animation meme community,
Yeah, I mean, I did too. You know, probably fucked me up. Shouldn't have done that. That's not a good thing. But, like, when you're directly an adult and you're sending that to the minor, like, what the fuck? Like, that's, you know, the minor accessing a public website that they're going on, that their parents should probably, you know, hopefully be preventing them from going on. Although that it can be hard for parents to do because they don't know what their kid's doing at all times, you know? Like, you know, it's a little bit different than, like, you're the adult, you're specifically messaging the minor the weird shit, you know?
gore and bloodshed is just common. So once again, your hatred shouldn't be placed on Cine, but the entire animation meme community as a whole. Like the fact that people are freaking out going, oh, think of the children, just makes me laugh so hard. If you guys are canceling Cine for this, then why isn't Jack getting any hate? Look at the end of its video on Cine. His avatar along with her avatar are stripping while being on poles, and this video wasn't age restricted. Oh, so many minors were exposed to this. But again, at the very worst, this is her being irresponsible, not.
Well, I mean, maybe both of them should be criticized then. Like, maybe both of them should be, you know? Like, why does it, like, once again, I just don't get why he wants to go out on a limb to defend this person. This is not, like, a super defensible situation, you know? Like, quibbling over definitions, like, okay, fair enough, definitions are important, words do matter, like, the things we say matter, but, like, what they did was still extremely wrong, and they knew it. They did it anyway.
Not grooming. Most of the stuff in the doc doesn't really show her doing that much bad stuff at the start. I don't think having your OC in a suggestive pose where minors can see it is that big of a deal. If it was, then the doc maker would also be at fault. Also, anyone who made a video about this situation, as they were linking the doc showing images of her OC in sexy outfits, would also be at fault. Guys, you can't call something then put it in a video without age restricting it!
It's a little different when you're sending it to them directly, right? It's a little bit different. Especially when you have, like, a personal relationship with that person. That is a little bit different, you know? Like, it's a fucking YouTube video. It's a fucking YouTube video. Versus directly messaging them and cooming with them.
Sure, the doc does censor out a few things, but it doesn't look like anything that bad was blocked out. Like, this image was gore art, not her being topless. Or at least that's what I've been told. Yes, her avatar is in underwear, but they're not fully naked. But then you have things that are a little bit worse, like her saying to a 13-year-old that she's looking for a not safe for work chatbot to talk.
A little bit worse? That's so weird. Why are you messaging a 13-year-old about that, bro? That's so fucking weird. A little bit worse. No, that's fucking gross. That's like degenerate shit, dude. Why? Why?
Talk to because she's horny. Run away, I've got to. Maybe Maybe this is just me, but I don't think you need to be telling 15, 14, and 13-year-olds that you're horny. I skimmed over the...
Yeah, that's like the whole point. You don't.
The stuff I saw in it was small potatoes compared to the accusation I heard about her grooming a 14-year-old. Then, when I finally got to the end of the shorter doc, I found out that the bigger and longer doc was the one about the grooming. Now, I want to make this clear. I do not believe Cine is a pedo. She more than likely would have done this with anyone regardless of age. The 14-year-old who made the doc even thinks that this is the case. She was being irresponsible by talking to the 14-year-old this way.
But like, once again, if they knew like the person was 14, like, will we make this defense for Chris Tyson? Like, oh, well, you know, they knew their age. They weren't trying to do anything bad, but it's like, you're still exposing this like minor intentionally to weird, like, stop. This shit is fucking weird, bro. Why? Like, why? I just have so many, like, why did he feel the need to make an hour and a half video going out on a limb for this person? Like, they're a fucking weirdo.
Way, but I don't think she was doing it to get with the 14-year-old. Also, I'm gonna be real here. The idea that people are saying Cine...
The video seems more rage bait and engagement bait than actual criticism. I don't think this is rage bait, dude. I don't think this is engagement bait. This is a serious video, dude. This is not like ironic. It's an hour and a half long video. This is a fucking movie. This is a fucking movie.
He is a groomer, but not a pedo, is absolutely silly.
I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want this pattern to repeat itself. I want to be better.
Like, they acknowledge here they did something wrong. Like, can you say that maybe their apology was a little bit extreme and maybe afterwards they came to a different conclusion? Yeah, but like, they still fucked up and did shit wrong, right? They're still a foul person, you know? Like, even if they believe their apology was under duress, like, they're still fucking weird, bro. He admitted on Chud's stream he didn't even read the second doc? No way. He just made a whole video about how research is so important. There's no way he did that, dude. What if instead of Goofy Goober, it was Goonie Goober or Goofy Gooner? I think that's foul. We're sticking with Goofy Goober, okay? You're disgusting.
Nothing
Goofy Goober only, okay? Leave SpongeBob out of this.
will ever make this right. But I want to make sure it never happens again.
This is wildly irresponsible. It's an optics nightmare, and I don't know why she did this, especially when she made the promise.
Maybe she's like a person.
That she wouldn't do this again. However, when you consider the fact that neither I nor the 14-year-old believe that Cine is a pedo, then you have to ask yourself, how is this grooming? If you're not trying to get with someone, you're not grooming them. If you want to...
Bro, like, that's not really true, though. That's not really true, right? Like, let's say, like, some, like, is, like, talking to a 13-year-old, and their excuse after the fact is, like, oh, well, I wasn't really planning to meet up with them. I just wanted to talk to them over the internet. You know, I wasn't trying to have sex with them. And it's like, well, so? You still did it, and you knew you were doing it, and you kept doing it. Like, why? Just why defend this shit? Why?
Hate on Cine for this, that's fine, but she's not a pedo. Now, I know what some of you are gonna say. Well, we...
How are you not completely desensitized to literally every public figure being accused of being a chomo? I mean, the thing is... I am kind of desensitized, but at the same time, like, it's not every public figure. This is still a relatively small amount of public figures that have been accused of this. It's just like, you know, I'm a commentary channel, so I talk about it because it's like drama that's happening, right? I'm like, am I desensitized? Like, yeah. It's still, sometimes when you see this shit, it's like, what the fucking freak, you know? But, you know, it's still like a small amount of the populace, statistically speaking, you know? It is. Even when it comes to, like, quote-unquote influencers, you know?
You're not saying she groomed a 14-year-old to get with them. She just groomed a 14-year-old
Why are we doing a Chris Griffin impression? Why?
to be more comfortable with conversations like this. So
Chris
she could
Griffin
groom.
blinker.
Don't get me wrong, I thought that at first, but it turns out that the minor was the one being inappropriate first, and she kept on pestering Cine to talk about stuff like this.
Yeah, but they kept doing it. It's like, oh, the minor is being inappropriate. Okay, well, they just block them, right? It's like, we talked about, you know, recently that dude from the TF2 community who was like, she kept, you know, encouraging this kind of behavior and she was totally willing. And it's like, well, but the point, though, when you're talking to someone that young is like, you just are not supposed to engage with them if you're an adult, you know?
It's also important to note that this minor was a fan of Cine's content. Content that includes Scootaloo being in very suggestive outfits, which Cine also made when she...
It's like, whoa, great. So they made weird shit when they were a minor. When they were an adult, they still made weird shit. And then they got in contact with minors who watched their content and showed them more weird shit. Did someone re-upload Jar's video? Yeah, someone re-uploaded it. This is a re-upload.
She was 14. Yes, Cine should not have engaged with this minor. She was the adult in this situation, and what she did was incredibly irresponsible.
It's like, I feel like he's almost there. Like, I feel like he's almost at the point of, like, realizing, like, what the conclusion should be, but he just won't, like, admit it for some reason.
Also makes her look really sus. But then again, Pyro, when he was an adult, sent a lot of inflation stuff to a minor. He got backlash for what he did, but he did beat the grooming allegations. No, I do not know why she couldn't talk to him.
I mean, once again, I think the difference here is going to be, like, you know, the age gap was less bad, and on top of that, like, he didn't know the person's age and they were 15, you know, at least according to him, and we don't have any evidence to the contrary, you know?
An adult about this.
Like, that's why he was fine in that situation, you know? People, you know, me, drew conclusions without evidence to support it, and that's why he was able to slam dunk that situation. This makes you want to hit the Jamaican SpongeBob pack base, dude.
Kind of stuff. She brought up that she talked to this 14-year-old because she was as open about not safe for work stuff as she was. And, yeah, of course she was. She just started puberty. Yes, Cine knew the minor's age. She asked early in the convo. Sure, she could have forgotten this person's age. I talk to a lot of people myself, and it's hard to keep track of stuff like this sometimes. But she acknowledged that this person was young a few more times. Then they started to talk about...
Like, he's trying to defend them and then just has to instantly admit, like, you can't. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, well, they could have not known, and we could defend them. And it's like, okay. And then it's like, but they did know, and they acknowledged it 5 times. And it's like, well, then why the fuck are you making this video? Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Is it that hard to keep track, man?
Not safe
He isn't trying to defend them. He is.
for work stuff. But none of the not safe for work topics they went over were nearly half as
It's an hour-and-a-half video, dude. He is defending them.
bad as some people made them out to be. Like, some of this quote-unquote not safe for work stuff includes lyrics from the song, "I like big butts and I cannot lie." I heard that in the...
Okay, but that's like the most benign example. That's not it. There's obviously way more than that. You know, like that's not really it. That's not the thing that people are focusing on here.
Shark Tale movie.
I like square butts and I cannot lie.
Why would the clips stop?
Hey, boss. Big butts.
Like, you're just nitpicking shit. You're really missing the big picture here.
Hey, Vay.
But what about the inappropriate pictures, like her...
Tom doesn't understand why he's pedomaxing his program that way. To be clear, I don't think Just a Robot is a pedo. I don't think you should say that. But yeah, maybe he was just... The designers programmed him that way, dude. It's not really his fault, okay? He's disabled. Oy vey.
sitting on a pile of sand corpses while hugging boy. Is hugging now or something? There's also pictures of her in boy and bunny outfits. Woo, so scandalous. None of this stuff is actually hardcore corn. It's just softcore corn. For those of you who do not know what softcore corn is...
Dude, what fucking... Why? Why? I don't understand at all. I do not I have no comprehension of why. Like, we're getting in the weeds here. Why? This is not a good defense, man.
Think of it like the sexy jutsu from Naruto. Sure, it's a bit risque, but under the law it would not be considered hardcore corn. This kept on escalating until Cine,
Because that's not what they're into. They're into weird shit.
she sent the same, not...
Did this dude also defend Dr. Disrespect? His belief of her confession can also be applied to the doc. The video is stupid. Did he defend Doc? I didn't see that. What? Oh, you're saying, like, the same argument can be applied? I understand what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, I don't think he ever specifically defended Doc.
safe for work essaying comic to this minor, and requested this minor to draw even more corn of the character of Boy and Nightmare Sans. From the censoring job, it looks like a few parts of this comic would have been legally classified as hardcore corn. The absolute worst thing Cine sent was this picture of Boy fingering her avatar. However, it should be noted that the doc maker was not the one who censored this out. It was actually Cine herself. When I first saw this, I thought, yeah, Cine's...
Oh, the worst thing they did was send art of their character fingering themselves. Yeah, that's bad, bro! That's fucking bad! That's not good. That's not good. It's like, oh, well, Cine censored it themselves. It's like, okay. I'm sending someone hardcore, but it's censored, so whatever, right? Like, remind me to send you all my money tomorrow when I'm on Fent after my operation. Will do.
Guilty, but when I found out that she censored the worst parts of this comic herself, It made her look far less guilty than I was previously led to believe. I agree that what Cine did was wrong. I agree she was being irresponsible. But I do not think that Cine is a groomer, a pedo, a child predator, or anything like that. After going through both of these massive documents in their entirety, I realized that they're just full of nothing. Oh no, Sunny drew a picture of her character in a sexy...
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the document was like nothing because it's written by people, but there's still enough to like condemn this person. Come on, bro. Come on. He might be a robot, but do it fart? That's a really great question. Be sure to ask just a robot that.
Outfit. Oh no, Sunny said I like big butts, I cannot let you a minor. If the doc maker had to stretch
Thanks for
so
the dono,
much,
Bo
so many
Blaxian.
times to make such bad points to paint Sunny as a predator, then it stands to reason that it's not a good doc. They clearly didn't know what they were talking about, and they were just grabbing any piece of evidence they could to paint Sunny as a groomer. The fact that Jack actually looked at this doc and came to the conclusion that Sunny was a groomer is absolutely insane. After that happened, I believe that Jack convinced Cine that she actually groomed someone. Then Cine, feeling bad about it without actually looking at the document, admitted to the allegations. And nothing Cine did was as bad as what Pyro did. So please tell me why he's getting...
That's just not true. That's just not true at all. That's just not true, bro. Goddamn. Bad video, bro. You know, just a robot. I think you fucked up here. I don't know why you made this, man. It's like unfathomable to me why you decided to make this. In the video, he says that like his like girlfriend and his roommate told him not to make it. You should have listened to those people, bro. They seem like the most sane people in your life. I don't know why you... I just don't know. I don't understand. Like, it's such a gross misstep. Like, this dude's been on YouTube for a long time, too. Like, this is not like a rookie mistake, you know? This dude's, like, in his mid-20s. Like, why? I see why it's fucking deleted already. The constant whataboutisms are not beneficial to you at all. They're just not. They're not. I don't get it. At all. It's for friendship, Tom? He lost his girl because of this? I mean, that's not surprising. His girl's probably like, what is wrong with you? Like, I told you not to do this, and you just did it anyway? You just defended this freak? Like, obviously that's going to happen. What about what Epstein did? Yeah, let's compare this to Epstein, dude. All right, chat. Oh my God. This whole video seems fucking insane, man. I just don't know why. I don't understand why he made this video. It seems like such a clear misstep. He really, really, really should have listened to his boys on that one, man. He really should have done that. I don't know. I don't get it. All right. Well, with that being said, I know Smaggle wants me to watch the debate. I think I'm going to do a video covering some of this stuff, so I'm not going to watch the debate right now because I don't want this whole stream to be about the Cine Bear drama. As fun as that would be, there's other stuff I want to go over. But yeah, I mean, what just like a fucked situation, man. I don't understand why he felt the need for that. Super unadvisable. Just a robot. Next time you want to make a silly video, shoot me an email. I'll send you a picture of my puke. His roommate wasn't home. How could he have known? So true, bro. So true.